Recording in progress.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the June edition of the Tips and Tricks SIG. Our format will be open forum, and then we'll break into the topics that I had sent out everybody as items to discuss tonight. With that being said, I'd like to open up the floor with for the first question of the evening. Does anyone have a question for the group? Okay, so we're just gonna, oh, there's Dennis. Yes, Dennis. You're muted, Dennis.
There we go. Well, it's probably more of a question for Tim, maybe. When we go to the APCUG meetings, they say, hey, make sure your full name is on your picture. And then they will send you the link to the YouTube video, and you will see that before it's released to the general public. Seeing it is.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten any. I was looking for one recently, and I discovered that they haven't emailed me any links since February 1st.
Well, they do.
Meeting.
I know from attending a lot of their meetings that you have to give them an email address, obviously, to register for the event. And then only the people that actually attend the event are eligible to receive the meeting notes and handouts and things. And they want to make sure that your email address matches up, and the name that you used on your registration form matches up with the name in your Zoom account on your Zoom. Now, that's a little picky to me. I don't think they should really be caring about that.
But regardless of that, I only have the one email address. That's all they get. The same one I registered with, the same one, everything. So I don't know.
But the email address is not the important part. It's the name. Like now, you have Dennis C.
Yeah, I got my full name. No. For their meetings, I have my full name, so I get the.
So it doesn't match.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It's close, but it doesn't match.
Did you try asking
when you fill out the registration, though, they want what's your first name, what's your last name. I mean, it's right there. I didn't change my name for the meeting.
Yeah, I know, but at the meeting, they output the results of the meeting. I don't know how you do it because I've never run a meeting on a paid account, but there must be some way of exporting the attendees, a list of all of the attendees and their names, and they match them up with the email, their database. I don't know why they go through the hassle of doing that. They should just send them out,
Well, I don't want to take any more of time with that, but I just want to say I did send an email to John Kennedy and Judy, letting them know, hey, I'm not getting anything. I just sent it today, and I haven't heard back anything yet. So,
well, the name that you have on your picture has to match up with what you registered with.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Well, you got Dennis C. Is that how you register?
On this one, but for the APCUG, I use my full name.
Do you?
Every time.
I don't think I've gotten very many of those either.
I was the presenter at one of their meetings, and I still haven't received the presentation, and it's been a year.
Okay, well.
So am I complaining too soon? I need to wait at least a year.
I think you're complaining too soon. And you could complain all you want, but it is probably a volunteer organization like this one. If you want more, you have to volunteer and step up and help them out.
Yeah, join the board and take care.
Join the board, or just become the person that sends out the emails. You could just say, "I'll do that." We've been looking for somebody to help us with advertising here, and it would be just somebody to keep track of where we put these posters and if anybody responds to them. So simple, but nobody wants to help. So, leave it to us. Wink, wink. Okay, well, let's open up the floor. Anyone else got a question for the group tonight? Nope. Nobody's had problems or questions. Beata, it's been a long time since you visited us. I'm sure you got problems over there that we'd love to help you solve.
Oh, no, I'm doing good.
You're doing good.
Nothing
Okay.
right now, but I'll holler if I have to.
All right, I like it when you holler at me.
Okay.
Okay, Beata always is hollering at me. Sanford, you do. And rightfully she should, and she can. All right, let's see. Pete, I know, tried to get in here, but he wasn't able to get in. He bombed out right away. Must be problems talking from Hawaii to here.
Well,
Maui.
you just heard the doorbell.
Yeah, that's Hens.
Okay. That's somebody else.
Somebody else. We're not exactly sure who Hens is. Henz, but hopefully Hens will give us a text message or something that says who they are, so we know who that name is. Or they can always rename themselves. Go and right-click on their picture and go to rename and put their real name in there, and then we'll know who Hens is. Anyways, I'd sent out a list. There's Pete again. Pete will get in this time. And I sent out a list of proposed questions or topics for tonight. So someone like to pick one of them and we can go over them.
All right. I got to open up my email first.
Oh, that's okay. I got to open up my topics.
The last one says, check out Pine Tools. And it's like, boy, that name is so familiar. Like I've heard it at another meeting, maybe. Okay. I don't know if everybody in this group here knows what Pine Tools is, though. Maybe you want.
I will share that with everybody in just a second. And this is Pine Tools, which is a free online tool application, or no, it would be a place that you can go that you can get access to all these tools that are available. You can resize images, you can flip images, you can calculate between dates and times. I found that to be very beneficial when you want to know, okay, it's so many days away from an event. How many days is that? It's a very good application here, and it gives you a lot of access to things. Anyone else ever use this or comment about it?
Do those tools have to be used online?
I believe so. Let's say flip an image. Okay, so flip it. Yeah, this is all online. You drop the image into there and you make it flip and it does it. Everything is done on this website.
Okay.
So it's not stuff you download.
Mm-hmm.
So are these completely different apps than anything that you would get from the open source marketplace? Or are they online versions of those apps?
Good question. As you see, a whole list of things, including programming. I wonder what kind of programming it could do.
One of the
they could put you out of business.
Yeah. One of the pieces of information or tips or tricks that I was going to talk about at some point tonight was actually something, not Pine Tools, but a package manager for Windows that you may or may not be aware of. Some of you might be.
Was that the Windows 7 package manager?
No, it's a Windows. It's in Windows 11 and Windows 10.
Okay.
And it's called WinGet, WinGet.
Yeah.
And it works very much like the Linux apt package manager. You won't find it there, It's from Microsoft. It comes with Windows. It's not a third-party app.
Okay.
But you can find out. You can do a search on WinGet, and if you go to Winstall.app, WINSTALL.app.
Drew, why don't you share your desktop and we can follow where you're thinking.
All right. Screen one and share. And let me bring up Firefox, and I'll go to a new tab and go to WinSTALL.app.
.app.
And right now, this database repository has 8,700 packages. And these are all managed at Microsoft. And what happens is third-party companies, whether they be open source and paid, the paid guys want to be in there because they want you to find their software. They fill out, they become a member somehow, and then they upload a configuration file that has all of the necessary information, including the current version of the software and a link to downloading it. So let's say you want to install, up here is, these are new popular apps. So here's Firefox, for example. Here is the WinGet command to install Firefox. And you can just copy it to your clipboard and paste it into a command prompt. And it will install Firefox. It'll go out and get the software and install it. Another thing that you can do is say that you want to select the app and then go back to the beginning and say that you also want to install Zoom and say select that app. And I'll pick one more. Let's say you want to have Discord. So you click on Discord and you select the app. And you can do this with as many apps as you want. And then it has this button in the lower right-hand corner here called Generate Script. And you click on that, and it tells you that you're downloading these 3 apps. And here is they give you the choice of creating a batch file, a PowerShell script, or what they call WinGet import, which is this here. And you download the .json file, and then you would run this command. But for PowerShell, it basically says WinGet install Mozilla Firefox, WinGet install Zoom, and WinGet install Discord. And you can download the PowerShell script right here. And then let's say you're deploying computers, for work, and you've got 10 computers you got to install 10 apps on. You can create a script here and then put it on all 10 computers and install them all completely unattended, all at the same time.
Is it all freeware, Drew?
Is it what?
Is it all freeware?
No, some of it is paid. Like, for example, Zoom is a dual use product. It's free and paid. I use a product called Snagit from TechSmith. That's a paid app. You can download the trial that will turn into a paid version if you buy it. But vendors that sell software want to be in this database because they want you to find it. And they want Microsoft to manage it and upgrade it. And this is a separate website that creates these scripts. But if you go into the command prompt and you say WinGet search and put in a command like WinZip and hit enter, it's going to go out to the database. And here is the different WinZips. And here is, apparently you can get it from the Microsoft store, or you would pick this one here, this Corel WinZip. And by typing in WinGet install, and then you would basically want to copy and paste that, Corel.WinZip, and hit enter, and then it would go ahead and install it. And that's all you have to do to install Corel WinZip. You don't have to go anywhere to do anything. It's going to find the software and install it. There's a third-party vendor that came out with a free graphical user interface for the software. So all you need to do, it has a search box, an upgrade box, it tells a list of what is installed on your computer, and this thing called package bundles. Package bundles are similar to that website. You can create a bundle of software that you want to install on multiple PCs. You could be a business, a corporation, and you've got 1,000 employees or 10,000 employees, and you want to make certain software packages available for them to install. You can create these, IT department can create these package bundles, and they have facilities in Microsoft networking to actually distribute the software. For example, if I go into here and I say search for a package and I type in KeyPass, that's one of the apps that I use, and hit enter, it's going to go out to the internet and find anything. Oh, I didn't do it right. I'm sorry. KEE, not Y. There it is. And here is the original KeyPass from, you can get it from a PowerShell script. You can get it from a vendor, a distributor called Chocolatey. That's another competitor to WinGet. And here is one that says WinGet over here in the source. And this is the real original KeyPass. And if I click here and say install selected package, it will go out and install it. And it does a silent install. So it doesn't ask you any questions. It just does it, takes all the defaults, which makes it easy to install multiple packages automatically. And you can also upgrade software in bulk. You could say, oh, I have one commander is out of date, and OpenVPN is out of date, PDF Creator is out of date, PowerToys is out of date, Proton Drive is out of date. And let's say and then I can say update selected packages, and it will update these 5 apps, or at least attempt to update these 5 apps. It's not always successful with every single app. This is a list of software that's installed on your computer. Some of these software programs may not subscribe to the WinGet system. And so, but over here, it says what subscription they're from. I have found that if I have a program, like it had trouble upgrading my Zoom, which I had installed from the Zoom website. And what I did is I uninstalled Zoom and I reinstalled it with WinGet. You can install Zoom Workplace by just typing in Zoom Workplace in the search box. Oops. WORK place, and hit enter. And it should come back with, let me see if I can find just Zoom. I don't know why it's not finding it. Normally, this is a bug. It should find it. But anyway, I installed Zoom through this method. And now every day it checks. You can set the interval. I have it set for every 24 hours. Every 24 hours, it goes out and compares all of the software that I have on my PC to the Microsoft WinGet repository. And if there are any upgraded apps, any apps that came from companies where they pushed an update, and said, okay, I've upgraded from version 1 to version 2, your computer will recognize that version 2 is available, and it will give you the option to upgrade it.
Drew, when you first displayed the list of programs, for instance, you selected Discord. Now, I had no idea what Discord is. So do they give you a way to see what they are on there?
Well, right here, it says Discord. Discord is the easiest way to talk over voice, video, and text. Talk, chat, hang out, and stay loose with your friends and communities.
Well, that's after you selected it, though. Before you selected it, I don't think there was a description, was there? Yeah, like
Well,
right.
if
I want to
if
figure
you're
out.
here and you select Discord,
Oh, okay.
it has that
Okay.
information is right here.
Okay.
And typically you're going to use the search box and you're going to type in something that you know. Now, you could also they have what they call tags, and a software vendor may tag their software with the word office, the word edit, the word something else that pertain to editing text files or whatever. So if I type in office, it's going to give me LibreOffice, Work Office, Office Tab Enterprise, and Office Tab. Or actually, maybe if I type it right, it'll come back with a better list.
You put OFFICE.
Yeah. All
Look
right.
at
So
that.
here's Microsoft, Office Tab Enterprise, and LibreOffice. So you can install LibreOffice just by clicking here, and then here's the script. So, for example, if I go into WinGet and I look at, I don't know, let me try ShareX. I don't know if not every program works, and most of them fail when you're doing a demo. So I will unselect everything and only select ShareX, and then update selected package. And it's going to try and upgrade ShareX. And it's now asking for permission. And if I ran this as administrator, it wouldn't do that. And it's now successfully updated. Boom. That's all I had to do. And I have it set to check the database every 24 hours. And these are all technically apps that I can upgrade.
Does Microsoft have some kind of 8,700 apps. Does Microsoft say, hey, we know none of these is going to give you a virus or anything? Or is there any guarantees here?
Well,
back them
you
in
have
that.
to trust. Well, you have to trust that Microsoft database for the software program Zoom, for example, the Zoom Corporation registered the Zoom Workplace app with Microsoft, and they had to go through some kind of registration process, which hopefully is secure. And the link that you would get to download the software with WinGet should be from Zoom. That's where it's supposed to come from. It's supposed to come from the company. Okay. So if you know of the app and you trust the app, then it should be fine. It gets it from wherever
that was using UniGet UI?
Yes.
Okay.
And if you were to say WinGet install UniGet UI, it will attempt to do it. Found an existing package already installed. No upgrades available. So that's how you do it.
So is WinGet currently native on our systems, or you first have to go and do
all of you have it installed already?
Okay.
Part of Windows.
There are pieces of it you sometimes have to download. It depends on what you're trying to do. Like when I was having, when I wanted to hide a Microsoft update that did not have a KB number because it was a driver, I had to install additional modules. I had to get them and get them using WinGet and then install them.
Yep.
And then I had additional superpowers.
Yep. They have an option in here to skip software if you want. You can add any software that you have installed to a list of software that you want to tell it not to upgrade. Leave it alone.
Yeah, so you can stick with an old version if you've got an old version that works and the
Yes.
newer version isn't working for you.
Yeah.
And there is software like that. Conversely, however,
And,
I did find something.
verbose, no warrant, disable, proxy, no proxy.
Don't want to interrupt, but I did find
Yeah, if you went into show help about the selected command, one of these in here enables verbose logging, suppresses warnings, disable interactive prompts. It's not in this list. There's a command that I don't know the name of. Install, show, source, search, list, upgrade, uninstall, validate, export, import. I don't know which command actually says don't upgrade it. I have to go out and look.
Is it using the hide command?
Oh, possibly.
Because that's what Windows Update uses.
I don't see the
hide
word
command.
hide. I don't see the word hide in here.
It may not be there.
I'd have to go out to this. They have more help can be found at this website right here. And that's probably where I would go to get more information. And then this is all the stuff that they have about the help command. This is the download command, the export features, hash, import info. One of these somewhere in here is the ability to skip software.
Drew, I found the command. You pin the application so it stays on the same version.
Yes, that is the word, pin. Manage package pins. Here it is right here. You pin the software. And that says keep it at this version. Thank you. I know I did it in the past.
Conversely, if you search the database, you find out that for some programs like Microsoft PC Manager, the most upstream versions that they ever made are not in the database. And the same thing is true for Malwarebytes, but those are testing versions.
Well, theoretically, what has to happen is Malwarebytes company has to, if they release an upgrade to the general public and put it on their website, they need to also, it's their responsibility to push that update to Microsoft's database so that Microsoft knows that there's a new version. Yeah,
the weird part about it was that PC Manager, which is an unofficial Microsoft project, they did not update to the latest greatest because that is still listed as a beta.
Okay. But
so nobody asks you for any money unless you install something and it says, okay, your trial period is over, or if you want to upgrade to a paid version or something like that, right? Nobody asks you for money here, right?
No, no one asks you. You don't have to pay any money to install anything, but what you install might be a trial version.
Right.
Okay.
So any other questions, or I can unshare. So that's WinGet.
Thank you, Drew. Anyone else use these type of tools?
GitHub UniGet. Oh, you were just there. Patch My PC. That's another one that I have installed. That will upgrade a lot of software. Not as much as WinGet, but it will upgrade software. Oh, wow. Who the hell's going to figure that out? Who's going to figure that out? Who's going to figure that out? Yeah.
Well, let's see.
Yeah. Can you copy and paste that into the chat?
How can they take someone else's website that already exists, huh?
Okay, when I go to the Winstall.app site and put in patch my PC, all one word, the top thing that I see is patch my PC, and it's the updater through search. But down directly below it is something called Colibri, and Colibri may be the domain squatter because then you get all these Colibris underneath. Colibri, Colibri,
Where are you seeing
and it's a color management system.
third-party patch management?
Yeah. If you go into Winstall and you type in patch my PC, even in 3 words, I just did it in 3 words. In the first upper box, it says our home updater is a free, easy to use program that keeps over 300 applications up to date, whereas WinGet has 6,000 or 8,000. So
8,700 here.
yeah, yeah. So while it's a nice product and it does work, it's for a fraction of the software. Or Mhm.
Anyone else got a update or program they'd like to comment on? Okay. Out in those topics I sent out, does someone else have something they'd like us to cover? Let's talk about the shopping sites that I just threw out one out there for, now this is not like Amazon, this is an alternative. Let me pull up this one, OfferUp.
Well, considering this is a tips and tricks meeting, we should do the make use of Windows 11 best tips and tricks.
Yeah, I think we should. Maybe we'll do that. Well, I started on this topic here of OfferUp, but
Okay.
since you did that, let's see, let's introduce.
Yeah. What?
So this is shopgoodwill.com. Okay, so in OfferUp, here's where on that page, you can set up by your location here, you could set it up to be local plus shipping or just local only. They often try to do local plus shipping because that brings in people from other states too. So we'll do that. Here's, sorry. So these are items that are for sale within 30 miles of Batavia, which is where I'm at. Right, okay, so let's look at computers and accessories and see what they got. I have bought a few items off of this. The people that I've worked with that have been on here have been very nice, easy to work with. Most people are willing to meet you someplace to sell the item. Many items are on here a lot longer than they would be on eBay because they're not seen by as many eyes. And if you're restricting your purchase to an in-person, you definitely are restricting the number of eyes that go on to that. But as you see here, there's a lot of offers, a lot of options. And don't be, it's okay to underbid something here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you might be looking to buy something from somebody that put it up for sale because they knew it didn't run Windows 11.
That's right.
Now, is this something that people have put on there, or this is actually at the Goodwill store?
Goodwill store is not telling you what's at the Goodwill. I'm sorry, the Goodwill site is not what's at your local Goodwill store. It's from wherever Goodwill is running their online operations out of.
Okay,
Right. Mm-hmm.
so this isn't something that you can put on for sale then? What I'm getting at is this something that I can put on something I want to sell?
OfferUp is that kind of place.
Oh,
You
okay.
you can do it yourself. Same like eBay, you can do it yourself. Craigslist, same thing. In our case, there's also Boku is a local market thing. Much less eyes on that one. That used to be called Naperville Yard Sales. It's now called Buku. Anyone else deal with these reselling sites?
No, but I'm looking at
No.
OfferUp, and they've actually got some stuff out here in Hawaii and on Maui.
Yeah.
Wow. On OfferUp?
Yeah.
Well, that
Anything
would-
good? Anything good, Pete?
Understood there, but the thing is that Goodwill with FedEx is a no for me because it's $70 minimum to ship to Hawaii from the mainland. I know that. No. The minimum. That's all I worry about. That's all I worry about.
Don't worry about it. He doesn't need to worry about the rest of us. He's in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Could be. So
Agree.
don't buy from Goodwill.
Right.
How do they know you, Tim? By your email address or your actual name? Okay.
So does anybody here use OfferUp as a seller?
Uh, I've used it as a buyer, but not as a seller. And I've used it twice as a buyer, Pete.
Okay. Looks like I gotta look at terms. of
Yeah, that
service.
it's been pretty easy to use it as a buyer. Pretty seamless. Your purchases and everything is all done through directly with the seller. They're not, OfferUp is not involved on the actual transaction.
How do they get paid?
I don't, Pete or Tim, I don't, hold on, Tim. Pete, I don't have the answer. I'm assuming it may come from the seller, but when I bought items, I never paid anything through OfferUp. It was directly personal contact. Here's the money. Give me the item. And that was it. So
That's like eBay. The purchaser doesn't pay, the seller does.
I'm assuming the seller does. So when you go and look at the fine print, you'll probably find out more. They got to make money somehow. But it might be an alternative for you, Pete, because you could set it up for local, no shipping.
Well, I've
Yeah.
used Facebook a lot, the Facebook market, and they don't charge you for that.
True. They do it for advertising space. They get your eyes on ads that are on those pages.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. Anyone else use Facebook Marketplace?
My sister used to, but stopped recently. I don't know why. She had some issues with it.
With the people on it?
Yes, that's what she mentioned.
You know what? Give anybody an opportunity and put money out there, there's going to be fraud. Doesn't make it better, but it does happen. Okay, anyone else want to talk on this topic? Anyone else purchase stuff online from other sources besides Amazon and the ones we discussed? No. Okay, let's go on to a new subject. Oh, Harry, yes.
Just a quick observation. There are some folks that are really uncomfortable using some of the Chinese portals like Temu and Shine and so on. I haven't done a lot, but the few orders I placed, I have to say, came quickly, came correctly, was exactly as described. I have no vested interest, not trying to convince anybody, but I have not had a problem with those two Chinese sites. Philosophically, you can question whether you want to support them. That's a different issue.
This was an eBay thing, but I ordered something direct from China, and there was one other thing I ordered from eBay. Both companies used an international shipper who did not document deliveries and did a very bad job of the local, the U.S. end of the delivery. And you never know when you're going to be stuck with one of those shippers. Because if it's direct from China, they often do not tell you which shipper they're going to use. They don't want to lose your business.
Well, they may just use Chinese post.
No, this is something that is international. Their headquarters are in India.
Okay, well, I don't have an answer. I'm just saying
No.
the stuff I've gotten through eBay or similar places that come directly from China, they take a while, but they've all shown up, every one of them. They may not be as nice as what I wanted, but they worked.
Yeah.
There's going to be big problems with the tariffs on those pretty soon.
Yes, because
tariffs were already in place.
As I understand, it's not just the tariffs, it's the loophole of sub $500 items that were being shipped that Temu and the likes were taking advantage of because there was no need for them to fill out paperwork, declarations, and pay any taxes on those items because they're sub $500 or whatever the threshold is. As I understand, that loophole is being addressed or been addressed.
Yes.
That means the less offers from Temu and the like that are as good. I don't know.
What they have been able to do is shift their shipping operations to countries like India. And India is not hit by as much of this.
Right.
But Temu also has warehouses in the States.
They do.
I don't know if that gives them the loophole you're describing, but a couple of things that my wife ordered came in a few days because they were, and in the promotion, they say everything on these pages is already in California.
Yeah. But eventually they're going to have to get resupplied. That's going to have to come from China, and things are going to happen.
Plus, my wife and I have never had to ask for a refund, so I have no clue whether they're reputable in that regard.
Are you going to ask for a refund on a $3 item? You know, and beat your head up against the wall on that $3 item. You know that. You know, you may know.
The one thing I ordered from Temu was much more than $3.
Right.
And it was high quality.
Right.
Yeah, some of it is. Yeah. Believe it or not, I know this is being taped, and I shouldn't say, but even some collared T-shirts, what kind of thing like I'm wearing. I have not bought, dress clothing from them, but simple T-shirts for $8 or $9 and things of that sort. I was pleasantly surprised. Was sized properly and all of that.
What is this website? What is this website, Sanford? I don't know if you can bring it up. Temu?
Never
Temu. T-E-M-U.
T-E-M-U.
And there's a similar site called Shein, S-H-E-I-N. But I have had problems with clothing I ordered direct from China, and I didn't know it was coming direct from China. The sizing can be very different.
Yeah. Okay, so this is Temu.
Yeah.
Which is a generally an overseas retailer that likes to sell very low cost items, low price of entry. Quality is up to you.
Just
you may find the first time you order from them, they may not have an order minimum, but they will implement an order minimum for free shipping, and it might be $25 or whatever it might be is your minimum order amount. Kind of tough when you're looking at $1.99 items and you're coming up with enough $1.99 items to fill $25. It takes a bit.
Yeah, but then if you scroll down just one more row, you find things like rechargeable batteries.
Right.
Which are really, this is a cheap price for
Yeah.
that type. I don't, I, I don't know exactly whose brand. They're probably an off-brand, but that's the only downside to that sort of thing.
Correct.
They're all off brands, and you have to understand this is a portal. You're buying from a company that in turn is the front for a million other companies. I shouldn't say front, I'm sorry, is the platform that interfaces between you and all other companies.
So would you use your credit card number on a site like this, or this is through a PayPal or
I
something like that?
personally use PayPal, just my opinion.
Yeah, it would be safer to use something like PayPal.
Okay.
Sanford, can you go back up to the top? There was an item on iPhone.
Oh, sure. You know, anyone can here do this. I'm just.
We can't order it for you, Bert. Sorry.
No, I wanted to get a seat in a second. I a little further down.
Further down.
Well, a little more. There it is, coming up here. Okay, that item they want for $9.23. I just bought the same thing on Walmart for 16 something.
Wow.
Yep.
What is that?
It's basically a charger station for your Apple devices.
Oh, okay.
It charges them all at once or whenever.
Earbuds.
All wireless charging items. There's no cords
Yeah.
with this one.
So it's interesting that, again, they're selling the same thing for 2/3 of the price.
Well, that's the nature of purchasing from China. And that's why I said at the very beginning of my comment that there are some people that say they just won't do that. I'm not taking any position. I was just making an
No,
observation.
we're showing what to support. What you're
saying is the fact that these sites exist. It's up to anybody to make their own decisions on whether they're going to purchase from company A or company B. It's the same thing. This TeamU is more or less like an Amazon.
I'm looking at the fine print in the thing. You actually need to buy the power supply separately.
Yeah, they're all like that.
There it is, with adapter.
With adapter or without.
With the adapter, the price changed to $11.53.
You have to
Without
read
the
that.
adapter,
That's still
it's
cheap.
You
That's
have to
still
read
cheap.
that.
They're all like that. All the
Yeah.
things.
Yeah,
right.
but they're still cheap.
So all
Yeah.
I'm saying is, quality-wise, it's the same thing that you would get on Walmart. Just,
And
they're
Walmart
selling-
buys their stuff from China.
right.
Walmart actually has Chinese suppliers.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that they buy it. They aren't even buying it. They offer a marketplace much like this.
And you can return it.
Uh, yeah, to a limited extent.
Okay.
Mhm.
I've had no problems with eBay's on getting refunds. Zero. and I've been working with eBay's for 15 years or a long time. Amazon is getting smarter, I'll say this, on the returns. Depending upon the item, if the item is very big and bulky and heavy, they'll give you a return, they'll allow you to return it, but they're going to charge you a shipping fee, and you're going to have to pay a pretty high shipping fee. Case in point is my wife bought a piece of furniture from them, and she was under the assumption if it came, she didn't like it, she'd, like all Amazon stuff, you'd be able to send it back. Well, it turns out the return fee was $50. The item cost $100. Are you going to send it back for $50 to cost? It's to save 50? No, she kept it.
Was that through Prime?
That was Prime, yes.
Really?
My wife
Sanford,
bought
does she now
something-
have that up on offer up?
No, she kept it.
Yeah.
Some
wife
people,
bought-
but
bought-
some people do, and they'll turn around and sell stuff on Marketplace because they got stuck with it. I'm just pointing out that Amazon does not always have free returns, even though they'll say free returns.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have a friend that is a snowbird. Lives in Florida and Massachusetts, and he bought an item off Amazon. I don't remember what it cost, but it was one of those walkers, and they shipped it to his house in Massachusetts, and he lives in Florida. He was in Florida, and so rather than doing a return, Amazon just shipped him another one at no charge to Florida.
Mhm.
So I was told, relative to that whole question of returns, that Amazon is either going to or has started a policy of looking at your return rates. How many items have you bought? How many have you returned? I can't swear to that, but I've been told that's coming if it hasn't already been.
That's been in place for about 2 or 3 years. And Walmart has had it for at least that long.
They're looking for the habitual abusers, is what they're
Right.
looking for.
Yeah.
If you've got like about
Buy
50
and return
if-
all
if
the
you-
time.
if you got like about 15 returns out of your last 20, they're going to say goodbye.
Yeah. I don't return a lot, but when I do, I find it very simple.
Yeah.
I have a UPS store, about 3 miles from my house, and I just bring the item in there, and they scan a barcode off my phone and print out the shipping label, and they throw it in a box. They handle the packaging and everything. You just bring the item in.
Many times they do that through Kohl's, and as a thank you, Kohl's will give you a 20% coupon for the next item that you purchase at Kohl's.
Yeah.
I sound like
Really?
a commercial here. I'm sorry. Just
Thank you for
It's-
thank you for that information, because
That's
I have a Kohl's
Amazon
near me.
who Amazon uses Kohl's.
yeah.
Yes, and on some other items, they will actually use Whole Foods.
Yes.
Right. I've
Yes,
done
I've heard about that.
Well, Amazon owns Whole Foods.
They do.
Yep.
So most Whole Food stores
They have lockers.
they have lockers as well as a drop-off spot.
Yeah. They do.
And they also give you the option. What is that grocery store? Something direct, maybe Amazon Direct or something.
Yeah,
Amazon
maybe.
is in the grocery business now, and if there's one near you, they'll allow you to drop it off there too.
Yeah.
Amazon Fresh grocery. And my wife has actually returned stuff that she bought from Amazon there. Yeah.
Yeah, and they've been
Shop there at the Amazon Fresh.
Oh, yeah, it's a full grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
they've been sending me ads about pharmacy and medical stuff.
Anyone else on this online shopping? We're kind of going through this part.
I buy 95% of my stuff from Amazon, and I try and buy, you don't save a lot of money, but if you set up a reoccurring shipping, you can save 5%.
That you
I,
can.
I
And of course, Prime saves you the shipping charges on smaller orders.
Yeah, I mean, I buy small household items from them. Toiletries. I'm getting toilet bowl cleaning tablets in the mail tomorrow. Um, I have them set to ship it once a year.
Yeah.
And once a year I get a package.
Yep.
I just had my furnace, not my furnace, my air conditioning tuned up last week. And I had a bunch of filters I bought at Menards. And I told the guy, "Oh, I buy these at Menards on sale." And I never thought about buying furnace filters on
I get
Amazon.
yeah.
He says, "Oh, you can get them on Amazon really cheap." Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know.
I get mine on Amazon. They ship them to me every 6 months.
There you go. And then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to show, since we mentioned Amazon, I will show this. I'm sure most everybody remembers this little add-on thing that you can put on your machine, on your browser. It's called Camel. So I just pulled up a product. It didn't matter what this is. This is a vacuum cleaner. And if you look up at my browser, up in the toolbar by this little star, you'll see a camel on there. This is an add-in for Firefox called Camel. And this site maintains a database of price fluctuations on products, or it looks at it. So I clicked on this, and this is telling you Amazon price, third-party new, third-party used pricing, and you could see how it's fluctuated over time. Use this as a tool, not as a rule of thumb. Often I found the prices on here not very accurate, but at least it'll give you an idea what was the lowest cost of this item and what has the price range been. Sorry, it disappears when I click on my thing. You guys see this pop-up window?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So at least gives you an idea. But the nice thing about Camel is you can also set up a price watch. So if you're looking for this particular item and you want it to be notified when the price drops to $49, you'd put in the desired price in there and put in your email address, and it will monitor it and send you an email notification that the price has dropped at or below what you're shopping for.
Wow, I never knew that existed.
Camel. Well, Camel's been out for a long time. It is a website that if you don't want to load in the plugin to your browser, you could just go to camel.com. And if I plug in, bear with me a second, and I'll do a copy C, and then I'll do a camel. You guys are seeing this site, right?
Yep.
All right. And if you don't have to sign up for anything here, but you can find the product by hitting search. And there is the item. You guys should be seeing it, the vacuum cleaner.
Yep.
And here is that same or similar grid bar.
Huh.
So you don't have to load this in,
Cool.
but I found it to be very advantageous or handy to have it right up in my browser. It works in Firefox, may or may not work in Edge. So your mileage may vary.
You only need one. I'm going to
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just found this very handy of an application, let alone a site.
I sometimes will get notifications on my Alexa speaker telling me that there's a low price offer on an item that I had looked at.
Mm-hmm. So that's Amazon notifying you.
Yes. And I'm going to throw into the chat right now. I did a presentation for the Central Florida Computer Society last Sunday on screencasting, casting your screen to a separate device. And here's a link to my meeting notes, my presentation notes. It's basically how to use another device, whether it be a tablet, phone, or in my case here, a TV screen. There's a gentleman in Ukraine who developed this program. It's open source. And I didn't know that Amazon carried these, or even they even existed. But I bought from Amazon at the software's recommendation a little dongle that for my laptop is a USB-C connector. You can get them with HDMI. You can get them with other formats as well. Basically, what it is it fakes your computer into thinking that there's an actual monitor attached to that HDMI connector. And so when you go into Windows settings, it sees two displays, and then you could say, I would like to extend onto the second display. Then, like right now, I have Zoom set for two monitors. So I'm looking at presentation notes on one screen and all of you on another screen. Yep. Oh, go to Amazon.com and search for the words virtual display adapter, and that'll find them. That link may be out of date. I'll go and update it. I'm an administrator on that site, so I'll go up and fix that.
When I try going to your website, there it says it doesn't support a secure connection.
It's just it's a P Cloud.
My
should be.
Chromebook comes back and says attackers can see and change information you send or receive from this site. It's like, what?
Huh. Let me open up a private window and see.
Yeah, this is on the Chromebook. I didn't install anything extra. So whatever comes standard with Chromebook, I guess is what I got. Yeah. Yeah, it said, oh yeah, it says it's HTTP : not an S. Yeah.
For what
It's
it's
only
worth,
yeah, I'm getting a an HTTPS connection in Firefox on my computer.
I wonder if I stick the S in, whether it'll take it. Force it in. Oh, I tried putting the S in and it says, nope, your connection is not private.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does. Now it lets me,
Whoops.
if I want to continue forward, it says you can, but we're warning you.
Yes, I'm looking at Firefox. I'm looking at the iCloud link that I shared in iCloud, and yes, it is an HTTP.
okay, well, what I'm getting is from
Oh,
the
you know
link
what?
from the link in chat.
I can post an HTTPS. I created a short link, and the short link is HTTP. The real pCloud share is HTTPS. So I will put that in the chat.
That's probably what happened with me, because I put that into Google Chrome under Windows 11 Pro, and it went straight to the HTTPS.
Yeah, this link is the right link, and you can see that it has the S in it.
And I have downloaded the document. Thank you, Drew.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Drew.
That tells you how to use an extra. If you have an iPad, for example, You can use it as a second display for your laptop. If you have a TV, a smart TV, any smart TV with a web browser, basically, can be used. So you don't need to have a some of the options that I talked about work on certain devices like Android TV, Fire Sticks, and others just require a browser connection so that any TV will work.
Yeah, and I happen to have or have had devices that I could just simply act as Miracast receivers. And they were attached.
Windows is Miracast.
Yep.
This uses all of the devices, the ones that are in there are either Chromecast or their own. One of them is its own casting technology, and one of them just uses a browser and talks to your devices on your local network. It doesn't even go out of your house. And if you go into Google Chrome, and there is a cast option on the menu, and it will cast to any device. It'll cast to a Fire Stick. It'll cast to an Android TV. But it will, by default, mirror your screen to the TV. If you buy one of these dongles for $8, it will the TV will be its own monitor, and you'll have two monitors. And it works with Linux, it works with Mac, and it works with Windows. And I've done it with Linux, so I know it works. In fact, I did it in a virtual machine, and it worked.
So can you also have this as your main monitor without having a computer without a main monitor?
The purpose of this software and this whole meeting presentation was about adding a second monitor to your computer, not having it be your monitor.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I understand.
It has to be a smart TV, or?
Well, you need a TV that has a web browser. So yeah, it's got to be connected to your Wi-Fi network.
Okay, it has to have a web.
So if you don't have a smart TV, you could buy an Amazon Fire Stick for $20 and do it that way.
Okay.
Or you can buy a Chromecast, an Amazon TV, not an Amazon TV, an Android TV. I recommend people now buy Android TV rather than Fire Sticks. Amazon is changing their Fire Sticks to a proprietary operating system in this fall, and they're going to be messing a whole bunch of things up. So I always recommend that people get an Android stick rather than a Fire Stick. You can get them for $20 at Walmart.
I have one from TiVo that's got a little more stuff in it, and it's Android TV.
Yeah. So Android TV, I have an Android TV here. It can run everything that is in those notes.
What about a Roku stick?
I've never owned one, so I've never tried it. But I'm sure Roku has a web browser, so if it does, it will work. Yes, correct. Windows 11 by default supports Miracast, and I made note of that, it's in the notes. But by default, it'll cast your screen, and it will be a mirror of your screen. With one of these little dongles, the TV could be a second screen.
And for those who have Apple products, I think the Apple TV lets you cast from your iPhone to your Apple TV device.
Yes.
So anything that's on your iPad or your iPhone or your Mac OS.
Yep. And
you could
my
throw
notes,
right up on
my
your
notes
TV using Apple.
My notes include stuff for Android, Windows, iOS, Linux, Mac OS, everything.
And there are ways even in Linux to run Miracast to some extent.
What I do for casting Linux is I install Google Chrome, and I use Google Chrome can turn my TV into a second display.
Absolutely. That's the Chromecast method, or the casting method.
Yeah. But you can use any phone, any tablet, any TV that has a web browser. So there's another tip.
Mhm.
Very
Yeah.
true.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. I found I belong to a Linux group in New Jersey. That's a very good group. They have their monthly meeting tomorrow. If any of you Linux guys are interested.
I didn't see everyone jump up on that one.
They have one guy that's in the group named Sergey, who's an absolute genius. And any Linux question that you have, he can answer. And if he doesn't have the answer, he'll have it in an hour. I shared the information about one of the apps in those meeting notes that I just showed you. And within a day, he sent another reply to the group saying that he went out to the website, he looked at the code, and he determined and found and knew by looking at the code that it was a secure app that didn't do anything illegal or bad or didn't leave your house. He knew that software only talked to your own devices, and that's the kind of knowledge this guy has. He likes to point out the details that most people don't even know. Yeah.
Thank you, Drew.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on my list is a whole bunch of things. Someone like to pick up a topic from there?
We still haven't done the Windows tips yet.
Oh,
We have not done the Windows tips. I think we should do the Windows tips. 13. Okay, let me pull this guy up. I mean, this one we realistically should be doing no matter what. 13 best Windows 11 tips and tricks that everybody should know. And that is change the start bar and start menu alignment. Oh, this is good.
Oh, you can pin it to the left or have it in the middle. Yeah.
All right. So taskbar settings, personalized taskbar. Look at all these things you have to do. And we could change that. So if I go to my taskbar.
I usually have enough apps open that my middle thing is all the way over at the left anyway.
So to do this, we right click on the taskbar, hit settings, personalized taskbar. Yeah, okay. Boy,
You go to taskbar behavior.
Task, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You clicked on your menu, right click on the taskbar.
All right, right click on the taskbar. Okay, taskbar settings.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, you guys should see this.
And then
Hopefully,
go to, yep, and then find taskbar behavior.
taskbar behavior. Of course, I have to move this so I can see
You-
this. There
There
you
you go.
go. Automatically hide. Got it. Further down. Oh,
Right where your
alignment.
mouse is.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. And I could do left. You know, that always annoyed the hell out of me. So now, if I look at it, yeah, it's on the left-hand side. Why the hell didn't they leave it there in the first place?
Oh, while you're in settings,
Yes, sir.
go to system
System.
at the top there. Yep. And then scroll down and go to for developers. There's an option in here that most of you will enjoy. That's another tip.
For developers.
For developers, there is an option called end task. And what it will do is if you turn it on, it will give you an end task option on all of your items that you have running on the taskbar. So if you have a program that's open and it's not responding, and rather than having to first open Task Manager and then find the app, you can right click on the app and it will have a close task option.
Oh, right there, end task.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now go to your now go to your taskbar and right click on anything.
okay. Taskbar. And right click. Close window.
You've got an end task.
And I got an end task now. Okay. Sweet. So it's not just close, I now have an end.
Yes. Sometimes you need to reboot. Yeah. Sometimes you got no other choice.
What is a sudo command?
Sudo is a new command that they just added to Windows that basically is a mirror image of the sudo command in Linux. Sudo elevates one command. When you log into a Linux box, 99% of the time or more, you're not an administrator like you are in Windows. So you cannot install software or do anything administrative on the computer. So when you type in sudo, it stands for super user do as something like that. And then you can run one command only, and it will run it as an elevated administrator. So like, say, for example, you wanted to run one command. You would normally today, as administrator, you would open a DOS box as an administrator. You right click on the command prompt and say run as administrator. And then you could type in a command and run it. With sudo, you could be in a regular DOS window and say sudo and then the command, and it will run it in an administrator window.
Okay.
Yeah, well, Windows has Linux in it. I use Windows subsystem for Linux all the time. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I downloaded originally Ubuntu Linux 2204 on my Windows 11 machine, and 2404 came out, and I said, "Oh, I wonder if I went into ChatGPT and asked it, what command do I issue to upgrade my Windows subsystem for Linux?" And it told me, and I ran the command, and lo and behold, now I'm running 2404. Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, getting back to our article. I will go back and share the screen with that. And the next item had to do customizing the recommended.
Sorry, I wasn't able to share that for you.
Sorry, my watch decided to say something. Customize the recommended section. So this is, I guess, in the start bar,
Display the class
start menu,
menu.
and it's the recommendations of stuff that you've recently opened. If you So to turn this off, you hit the Windows I key. Right, you don't get the recommendations. You go to, I hate it when you have to get out of these screens. Go to Settings, Personalize, and Start. Settings. Okay, so Settings. Where's Personalize? There's Personalize. I think it was Taskbar. Personalize, hit the Start, then Recently Opened Start. Hit the Start. Recently opened apps added. Okay, so you would turn that off. right there. Well, but these are a section you can use. Show most used apps might be a good thing for somebody. I mean, if you only use so many apps, you want that to be up in the top. Show recommended files in Start, recent files. You can jump to lists. Show recommendations, account related notifications. When off, required notifications are still shown. What is that showing you? Account related notifications. Anyone know?
Yeah. Oh, if you get low on disk storage on your OneDrive, you'll get a notification, that kind of thing.
Ah, okay. Okay, well, this is pretty good. So that was this one, recommendations. We've made these changes here. This is some good stuff. Display the classic right-click menu.
Yes.
File Explorer, show more options. To open spillover menu, you can use the F10 key for shortcut access. So what do we do here?
Right. Does it, right. I Yeah, I just threw into the chat a program called WinArrow Tweaker, and WinArrow Tweaker has an option in it to change the Windows 11 Explorer back to Windows 10 and change that right-click option so that you don't see the show more options anymore. They should have put that in here. It's easier. Yes, you should know what you're doing, but this Windows 11 Explorer thing is in there as one of the options. And customize the snap windows, power tools, power toys.
Use power tools to do this one, right?
Yeah, I use power toys. You can create your own custom windows where apps will go. Well, if you don't have two monitors or a really big monitor, some people I know have a really big monitor, like a 40-inch monitor. You can with power toys, you can designate certain windows areas on your screen and choose what apps you want to go into those windows. And every time they open, they'll pop to that spot.
Well,
I do that all the time. Yeah.
Well, you can uninstall Teams too, can't you? Okay. Not a bad thing. We don't use it. Okay. What about the Xbox console?
Oh,
Why do I need that?
you, you,
Xbox. Yeah.
you can do screen recording.
Well, that's to be understood. Yeah, okay. I'm just looking at for those of us that are not gamers, okay, so you delete it.
Yeah. Yeah. I typically don't bother.
Don't bother. Okay.
I Yeah. Yeah, but back when disk space was a premium, it would matter. But if you have a terabyte of storage space, why do you care about a 1 gigabyte application? Yes, you're correct. I agree with that. Saves you a little memory too.
Right.
Yeah, because Teams won't be starting up automatically when Windows boots. That's a good thing for everybody to do at the very minimum.
To unload those products?
To turn it off. If you're not going to be a Teams user, why would you want it running in your system tray 24 hours a day?
Correct. I agree. Let's see, Xbox on here. I think I already did turn. Yeah, it's yeah. Okay, so let me try. Go to apps.
Yeah. Yep. First one.
Let's see. I might have taken these out already, but let's see if they show them. What's
Yeah. Type in TEAM. There you go. Microsoft Teams.
all right? So there's
Okay. All right, so everyone's seen that I am taking Teams out. I think I might have already done that. Oh, there still is Xbox Live. That's the only thing I got left in here. "3D viewer," what is that for? Hmm. Mhm. iCloud, oh, Outlook. Handwriting main store. Don't know what the hell that one is. Got it. Okay. Well, I closed it because I was kind of deviating from what we're talking about. So I wanted to stick on what we got here instead of what I have installed on my system. What else did we have? We have title bar shake.
I don't know what that is.
Says it allows you to minimize all your open windows except for the one that's active with a shake. So if you shake it, everything else closes and just leaves that one there. Focus to minimize distractions.
Where is it?
Gotcha. So we can play with this stuff to increase our productivity. For those of us that are retired, we don't need to worry about that, but Drew does.
Yes, I do.
Yes, Drew, you do. How to use Windows 11 new focus or new Windows 11 focus sessions. Dark mode. This would be changing your colors at specific times. I don't know why, but maybe it's something you might not want to do.
Oh, for those of you who believe in if it works, don't fix it. I downloaded an app that turns off Windows Update, not for just a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but until you turn it back on again. And I decided that I was going to wait like a month or 2 months or 3 months of doing no updates to my system until I hear or read on the internet about anything that has been good or bad or indifferent. And it's been perfect.
Well, I could see an advantage in somebody in your case where maybe you're working on a project and the project, you don't want to get interfered by any updates that could sneak through and affect something on your project you're working on.
So I could see
Exactly.
doing
If
that.
I'm dealing with business customers, they're concerned about running their software. They're not concerned about new features in Windows.
Correct. Okay, we have time for one more question. Anyone got any last questions for the group? Alvin, you've been pretty quiet over there.
I don't have anything, thank.
Oh, yeah, I know, but there's got to be something on your phone that you had us with. Just
really
checking.
can't. I just wonder, has anybody bought a watch recently that is not an Apple Watch?
I have a Samsung watch.
Because there's
Yeah, mine is 3 years old and the battery doesn't last a full 24 hours anymore.
Right. Alvin, but you wanted to know about a non-Apple Watch. What is the purpose?
Well, some of them advertise that they do glucose, they test for gout, and several other things. And I'm just suspicious. I mean, they sell for $100, and they seem loaded with options. But I'm just afraid that it's a fraud.
Red cells. Oh,
Okay, well, I'll look that up. Thank you.
Well, smartwatches are a good thing. I mean, if you don't have one and we're getting older, it's a good thing to have because, for one thing, they can help you if you fall. They can immediately dial 911 for you. If you have
Yeah.
a specific problem, they could monitor that problem for you if the watch is capable of doing that and report to you that there's a problem. Maybe your blood sugar levels drop to a certain level. Or your heart rate drops to a certain level, it can let you know. It can monitor your sleep patterns.
Yeah.
All kinds of good things. And just find yourself a reputable one and go with it. Go with a name brand.
Yeah. I bought my Bluetooth watch for the specific reason that I live alone, and if I fall down and can't get up, and my phone is in the other room, I'm screwed. So I have a watch. I can make a phone call with my watch.
You hit it right on the head there, Drew. That is exactly one of the reasons you get it. If you're by yourself any times and you fall, this is a solution. Don't
Also,
run.
for those of you who don't know, for those of you who have an Amazon Alexa speaker, you can link your phone to it and upload your contacts, and then in Alexa enable the ability for Alexa to call anybody in your contacts. And if you fall down or have a medical emergency, you can say, Alexa, call my sister, call Joan Smith, and it will call them. And it's a free phone call.
I think you should know that Fitbit's been bought out by Google, and I'm not sure how long Fitbit's going to last since Google bought them out.
And they'll just merge it into something else.
If it's profitable, they'll keep it.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Any other last questions for the group?
Me.
Yes.
I'm searching Amazon about when you're talking about screencasting and that. So I'm looking on Amazon at the virtual display adapter.
Yep.
And I'm seeing all kinds of things, but none of them I don't understand what they say. None of them talk about screencasting or mirror.
Well, no, they're not gonna talk about that stuff because they're merely a piece. It's a piece of hardware that acts as a fake display, and
Well,
that's all it.
let me just read you the description. So
I'm
yeah,
using a USB-C. There is.
oh, so this doesn't
Correct.
plug into the TV. This plugs into the computer.
It plugs into your computer and emulates a real hardware.
Okay.
Yeah, for your
Okay.
laptop or desktop or
Okay. Yeah, it plugs in the TV. I mean, the computer.
yeah.
Okay.
Again, with the earlier
Yeah.
conversation was if you wanted those services, you need to buy a device that will support it, like a Roku or
Right.
Apple TV or the likes, which allow you to screencast directly
Yeah,
to the TV.
and all of that information is in my notes.
There you go. And with that, I'd like to conclude tonight's meeting.